anything like that happening, and he's been such a joy to watch, and just that big component missing from our top forward line have just been an absolute joy, and it would be sad if Hammond doesn't get the reward of at least getting to get some playoff hockey in.
It's time for a weekly mugshot competition. As usual, we will put a picture of a current or former clan player on Twitter. If you can identify that player, reply using the hashtag mugshot for a chance to win a limited edition Purple Army podcast mug. Okay, we're going to talk about the rather... Now, it's still a wee bit complicated in terms of playoff seedings. Number 1 seeds Cardiff, that's set in stone. You know, obviously, congratulations to Cardiff on winning the league this weekend, and thoroughly deserved. I think most of us called it. I think Graham was talking about Sheffield, didn't the rest of us not sort of think Cardiff? I certainly tipped Cardiff this year. What about yourself? Do you remember what you two did, Jennifer?
Cardiff from pretty early on. I didn't imagine any other team toppling them.
Yeah, Stephen, were you?
I've absolutely no idea, but I'll just say that I said Cardiff.
You just said Cardiff. And Raymond, were you surprised that?
I've no idea if I said Cardiff would win it, but I certainly wasn't surprised they did. I probably said we would have won the league in the off season.
Just like Simsy. Oh,
yeah.
Can't say that word on anymore, can I? Anyway, Cardiff set in stone at number 1 now. There are still permutations here. We hold on to the number 2 seed just now, but Belfast could take that off of us. Belfast have a double header against Cardiff over the weekend. Belfast need 2 regulation wins via Cardiff to win the Earhart and take the second seed from us. And that's 2 regulation wins. Cardiff just need 1 point to seal the Earhart Conference, and that would mean that we would definitely be second seed. So that's one to keep an eye on for us, because as I said earlier on, we can't control at the moment whether we finish second or third. Sheffield also have a chance to finish in third seed. They can pip Belfast to second spot in the league, but they need to win both their games and hope that Belfast take no points from Cardiff to get that third seed. So, and there's another scenario for Sheffield. If they win both games in regulation and Belfast take a point, Cardiff take a point, that would force Belfast into 4th seed as well. So it's still kind of complicated. The most likely scenario, you can't imagine Cardiff dropping 2 losses, although, Raymond, they've won the league, they don't have a lot to play for. Belfast are going over in there, and how much do you think they want to win the Earhart Conference? Is that a big deal?
They've had their high, and really, if you're Cardiff and you're a Cardiff fan, wouldn't you want to do an actual real Grand Slam?
Rather than a Nottingham one?
Yeah.
Win all 4 trophies, not just 3.
Yep.
But with Belfast going over there, though, how much do Belfast want? Belfast need to win both games to win the Earhart, and they need to win both in regulation. How much motivation do you think Belfast have got to do that? Does the Earhart mean anything to anybody over there?
I don't think so. I think it's just a thing you get when the season ends. It's just one of those things for them. But it should make for an interesting weekend. It shouldn't make it dull games, at least on paper. I think both teams have got a bit of something to play for, and that's what you want going into the last weekend.
Yep. Now, if you go further down the seedings, so we've done 1, we've done permutations for 2, 3 and 4, which include us. The lowest we can go is 3. Nottingham are set in stone, they're 5th, so Nottingham will play whoever finishes in 4th seed, which can only be Sheffield or Belfast at the moment. It's more likely to be Sheffield, I would imagine. I can't see them being able to catch. I can't see Belfast getting nothing over the weekend, and I can't see Cardiff coughing up all 4 points. So, I think the more likely scenario is going to be Cardiff, Braehead, Belfast, Sheffield, which would mean Sheffield and Nottingham. But again, as I said, it's not set in stone. Fife are set in stone at 6th. Now, the interesting thing is, guys and gals, lads and lassies, if we slip to 3rd, guess who we would then get? Fife. And that would be set in stone, because Fife are definitely finishing 6th. So, there's still a possibility if Belfast win both their games and we slip to 3rd seed that we could get Fife, which would be a hell of an interesting. The more likely scenario is we stay in seed 2, and it's 7th and 8th are between Dundee, Coventry and Manchester. The permutations there can be quite scary. Dundee basically need 2 points. They've got the double header against Fife over the weekend, and as we said, Fife have kind of got their position set in stone. They need 2 points to be sure of 7th seed. So, if we do finish second, then Dundee, if they do get 2 points, would be the team that we would face. However, there's other permutations that involve Coventry and Manchester. Coventry only have 1 game left, and that's on Sunday against Sheffield, who could be pushing, could depend on the result the night before, could be pushing for that second spot in the league. So, there's all sorts of permutations coming about. Between Dundee, Coventry and Manchester, though, who do you see as being the one who's going to drop out? Manchester have a game against Nottingham on Wednesday night away, and then they've got Sunday night, they've got Nottingham at home, whereas the other protagonists, we said, Coventry have got that 1 game to Sheffield, and Dundee have got the doubleheader with Fife. Who do you guys think is going to come out of that and going to be the one that we're facing?
Sadly, I think Manchester are going to drop out. I can't see them beating Nottingham twice. Sadly, they've been on a poor run for a while, so I think we'll end up with Dundee. And as I said last night in our wee group chat, I'm not overly confident against anyone, because who knows what team's going to actually turn up. It's so hit and miss at times, we're good one night and then absolute guff the next. So, but Ray pointed out, sorry for stealing your point here, Ray, but Ray pointed out that it would be better if we played Dundee instead of Coventry, purely from a travel aspect. We don't have that long bus journey up and back, down and back, up again before 2 really important games. So I think Dundee would be the more beneficial for our chances.
Yeah, and I think you're probably right. I think, albeit I've said all these permutations are still mathematically possible, it's the Elite League, Raymond. Anything could happen over the weekend. Cardiff might just decide that they don't want to risk any injuries. Belfast can maybe take 2 games. Before you know it, you've got Fife. But I just think the more likely scenario, and I think Stephen's absolutely right, the more likely scenario, I think, is Manchester. Manchester probably will be the ones to drop out of that and probably just miss. And it would probably likely be Dundee at that point that we would face. How would you fancy your chances against Dundee? Or is the old Braehead quarter-final hoodoo still lurking in the back of your memory?
Well, there is that. But just a quick aside there for a second. I think, regardless of what you think of the conference system, I think if it was the old system, would we have all this to play for going into the last weekend of the season? And my answer is I don't think so. I think it would all be buttoned up weeks in advance and you'd be playing out some pretty dull, meaningless games. But here we are last weekend and there's still a lot that can happen and change. I think that's pretty refreshing.
Well, yeah, out the 8 seeding places, only 3 are set in stone. So you're right, there's the other 5 are up for grabs. And it'll be interesting to see. We pretty much reckon, because of the clan selling the 54 game sort of season ticket, 27 home games, it's going to be 6 and 6 in terms of the conference makeup. What teams are in it, we'll debate when further down the line. But it'll be interesting to see if they still maintain this league position and do the winners of the other conference still get second seed, or are they going to just say, which I think they probably should, is top 4 in each conference. Do you know what I mean? Go through to the... But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they decide to do, won't it?
Yeah, but just to actually answer the question, I think that, the funny thing about Manchester is they've got the most regulation wins at the bottom three. Mm-hmm. So, really, with Coventry only having the one game, you think, well, possibly, depending on what the Sheffield situation is, possibly Manchester only need to win one of those two games against Nottingham. With Nottingham nothing to play for, I think that's a distinct possibility. So, assuming
Sheffield have got something to play for on Sunday, then, and you can maybe see Coventry lose that game. That gives Manchester the chance, doesn't it? You're right. They only need to really win one game because they have got a better regulation win. But there's like 1 point between them just now, isn't there? My memory serves me rightly. I should have brought the standard.
There's 2 points, but it's effectively 1 point with the regulation
because
wins.
It's Manchester's advantage.
Yeah. So I think it will be Dundee will end up playing, but I think Coventry will be the one that drops into ninth, and the Storm will get in. And I'd like to see the Storm get in. I think just their organisation, both on and off the ice, they've put on a pretty decent product. They're an entertaining team. They're a well-managed team. Neil Russell and his staff are doing a great job down there. So I'd like to see them rewarded with their first playoff series back in the Elite League.
Yeah, but, it's Tomo, it's his old team they're playing on Sunday, and conspiracy theories getting in here.
It's not like he owns a portion of the team or anything.
No, I know. What possible interest could he have? It's, I'm not well, we'll not go into it. I don't know. We've still always debated. We're not sure if he's still got that or not, but yeah, it's kind of strange. Anyway, which you reckon? Yeah, I'd love to see Manchester. I'd love to see another Gardner Conference team in that playoff picture. And the interesting thing is, and the most likely scenario as well, again, you're going to have a good chance that you'll be seeing Nottingham facing Sheffield in the playoff quarter-finals, Jennifer. And, they must make more money doing it that way, because let's face it, the playoffs are going to sell out anyway. Or is it just a case of, whoever Sheffield or Nottingham got in the playoff quarter-final, they'd sell out and make money anyway? I don't know. It's a big game, though. Playoff quarter-final, Sheffield-Nottingham, 2 legs.
If they don't sell out their quarterfinals, then there's something seriously wrong. Do you know what I mean? That's what the playoffs are all about. That's the ones that everybody wants to see how it's going to go over that one weekend, to see who's going to get to the final four. So, and it would be nice if they were to face each other, and then obviously that there's going to be one set of fans that's going to be only there for the party. That's always fun to watch, and I'm sure we'll have lots of fun with songs, whether our team's there or not.
And, again, going into we reckon Sheffield and Nottingham, if the results go the way we think they'll go, that would leave Fife with Belfast. And Fife have done okay against Belfast over the course of the season, and you just never know. And Cardiff would likely finish up, they'll finish up with the 8th, which we're thinking is more likely to be Manchester or Coventry at the moment. But the way Cardiff are playing, unless they take their eye completely off the ball, they've got to be favourites, as you said, Raymond, to do the complete, proper Grand Slam, really, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so. And just a quick thing on Fife, that they've almost got as many wins against Earhart sides than they do Gardner. So I think that they're kind of like how we were a few years ago, better against the Earhart side. So I fancy Fife against a Belfast. They might do it, and they've been more successful getting the Final Four than we have. So, Good luck.
And it'll be interesting. Really. It'll be very interesting watching all these games unfold over the weekend. I mean, I'm certainly going to go to the game on Saturday night. I'm kind of swithering whether to go to Edinburgh on Sunday or just sit at home and watch the scores as they come in, and just figure out all the permutations. It's going to be an interesting one, just to watch it all unfold. And, as soon as we find out who we've got, we'll maybe get a good straight for a hint as to when that first leg is going to be. And, if it's Dundee, it's not so bad. I think I'd still be tempted to maybe go and stay the night, right enough, have a couple of beers, but we'll see. We've talked a wee bit about our Player of the Year. If you haven't voted, get on and vote now. Have your say. I think it must be the second. I don't know how many folk the official supporters club get when they do their Player of the Year, but given the fact they've got about 1,000 members, and you must think most of them probably have a vote, it's going to be not far behind theirs in terms of credibility. So I'd like to thank Callum for putting that lovely trophy up. And we'll see who's going to take it away. Scott Pitt's in the driving seat at the moment. We talked roughly about season ticket news last week.